Let's talk about silicone breast pumps. So this is a silicone breast pump. There are all kinds of brand names available. They are essentially very similar in shape and how they work. This type of pump can be used to collect milk in a more passive way rather than a manual hand pump or a single or double electric pump. So many people use these at the start of their breastfeeding journeys. It is something that many people recommend, meaning your friends were previously feeding a baby, they told you you had to have this. It finds its way into your feed somehow. I want to talk about the way that this pump can be used that could potentially create challenges. So when we're using this type of pump to collect milk, many people do what's called parallel pumping, where baby nurses on one side and the pump is attached on the other to collect milk and collect that initial letdown. When the opposite side starts to flow, the milk goes in here, and it can be a really great way to save the milk. However, we want to have baby get first dibs at the milk. If your baby is struggling to latch, if they're having challenges transferring milk, if there are any issues around their ability to feed, we don't want to take milk away from them. We need them to have first opportunity at the breast to get as much milk as possible. So if you're still wanting to use a silicone pump like this and collect milk, you can actually have your baby nurse first. Let's say you start with the right hand side. After they finish on the right hand side and you move them to the left, then you can apply the silicone pump and collect any residual milk or letdown that you might get after baby has had their first chance at the breast. We want to prioritize baby and make sure that they are getting all the milk that you need. When you have a baby, your body doesn't actually know how many babies it's feeding. It's waiting for you to tell it. It's waiting for those feedback signals to say, this is how much milk we need to make. So another challenge that can come up when using a silicone pump is an overproduction. Having this pump on during feedings, having it on after feedings, using it multiple times a day can actually shift some people towards an overproduction. And while it may sound like a really great problem to have, it can be a really challenging problem. You can be met with plugged ducts and mastitis and this constant need to remove milk just so that you feel comfortable. So overproduction is just as serious a concern as anything else in lactation. If you do want to use a silicone pump like this to collect your letdown, so that is when your milk starts to flow, you want to apply it with as minimal suction as possible. The reason being, the more suction that's applied, so if you apply it with the flange flipped back and then squeeze the middle and place it on this way, you are putting the maximum amount of suction. And that suction is going to continue to pull on the nipple and still passively collect milk. So if you want to use it just as a catcher to catch the letdown, we want to basically just have it set on the nipple or just pinch the middle, use as little suction as possible. It's actually ideal if you can use a cup or something else to collect it, if you're really needing to just collect milk or if you're having challenges with one side is spraying while baby is feeding from the other. So these are really amazing tools to have. They can absolutely be supportive. We just want to use them in a way that is going to help your baby and you reach your breastfeeding goals.